Okay, and the final technique in HELIO'S lesson 13 is the straight arm choke, the thrusting choke. Again, another very simple choke. Remember earlier we saw how to open the lapel and put the thumb inside and then drop the elbow and take the slack out, right? This time we invert the hand on the same side. So with the other choke, we were reaching inside and dropping. This time it's the same side. So look, we open the lapel. This is nice to do palm down. Open the lapel and grab the lapel somewhere around the mid-range. If I grab too high, when I look to put the lapel across the neck, there's nothing to put. So I want to grab the lapel about mid-chest height, maybe just below the collarbone. Open the lapel. Give yourself some slack here. See this motion here where the lapel is bending and opening? That's the portion that's going to move across his neck. It's going to move across his neck. And this hand is going to take the tension out. Right, so look, I give myself some room here and I start to pass the hand over the neck, and then this hand takes away the slack. So this pulls while this pushes. And you see that as you pull, it moves the entire shoulder, right? It moves the shoulder and opens the head to this side. So this collar is handling the carotid artery here, and this collar is being blocked once I choke across like this, okay? That's what we want. Now, if we find that we don't have enough slack in the gi, you may have to open the gi a little bit. Right now we've got the slack we need, so we find the choke about collarbone height, palm down, no thumb, pass the choke across, and you again, the little finger is on the carotid artery. The outside ridge bone of the hand presses on the carotid artery, and then I pull. Okay? So this drives to the ground here, and this pulls up, taking any slack out. If I pass the choke and I get to here, and I don't have any tension, this alone won't work. So that's why I use this. And there we finish. All right? HELIO mentions something very specific here. This is the only time I've seen him say this. This choke is a choke that you can execute while you are inside someone's guard. We always think of the guard as being potentially offensive, but certainly a strong defensive position, right? It's the guard. He's guarding against what? He's preventing me from moving to the top position, prevented me from passing around his legs to move to either a side mount or a full mount. So the guard is very effective for someone who knows how to use it, and that's why it's been such a strong position in classic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This choke, however, it means that in the guard, if I give him my arms, he can go for an arm lock, he can push one hand and go for a triangle by passing the legs over the head on the low side. He can start to move me around for sweeps by extending my arms and getting my body flat. If he gets me to dip my head, he can go for chokes. Right? So the guard can be a very potentially dangerous place for me. HELIO mentions, though, this is one place where you can actually attack someone while you're in the guard. So you do the same thing. You open the collar, and what I've seen him do is stand to do this. You open the collar, and he's going to jump to the feet, and then push the collar down and pull. That's it. Okay? So it's something you guys can try if you find yourself in an inexperienced person's guard. Sometimes even in an experienced person's guard, they'll be so surprised that you do this that before they have a chance to respond, they'll be tapping. But let's look at the principles of the choke one more time. Critical that you have enough slack in the gi. If you grab too low, look, my hand can't reach because the tension ends up on the rib cage, not on the neck. And if I grab too high, there's not enough to put across. So you have to play with this and find a place on your partner's gi, on your partner's kimono, where you can pass and actually cover the neck with the lapel and get the little finger along the carotid artery. Right? There's nothing magical here. Let's be clear what we're saying. We're not saying this is a little finger choke. I'm not choking him with one finger using some nonsense. This is a legitimate choke because I remove all the tension from one side and cover the carotid artery there, and remove all the tension from the other side and cover the carotid artery here. The little finger just happens to be a place marker. That indicates to me that I've reached the other side successfully. When I can lay this bony ridge against his carotid artery, that's when I know my slack and my distance have been measured correctly. So find a place on the gi where you can do that. You can cross over and you can touch. Now you just remove the slack by pulling the other gi, and he's going to choke. Okay? Good.